Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Iowa soccer supporters. I'm Ben Brackett, your Soccer Talk co-host, shaping up our back three on the right side. Right to left, we've got Cody Waddell in the middle, and then I've got Blake Siebers, my resident left back and co-host. Siebes, what's up, man?
Lovely day of soccer here at MediaCom for some 1A stuff, right?
Absolutely. And I guess since we'll plug YouTube real quick. Check us out so that you can see my sweet Iowa High School Athletics Association polo that I got to wear today on the 1A broadcast. I don't think anybody listened to me.
I listened to the second game. You're pretty good.
There were hundreds of people listening this morning. And I
Same amount of people that listen to our podcast.
That's right. I hope you're not getting paid by the hour because it was a little longer day than anticipated.
I wish I was getting paid by the hour because I'd be making a little more money. But yeah, so we saw that first game was Regina, Iowa City Regina Catholic, taking on West Central Valley. Your squad there, Cody, right? Cody kind of got his start as a coach at West Central Valley.
Yeah.
Out there in Stewart.
Yep. And I went to high school there as well, so deep roots. Unfortunate ending for them, but I mean, I thought Regina played a really good game. They are a very solid squad.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was expecting Regina to run away with it.
Yes.
Blake and I talked about it the other day. You see some of the results that they've had during the season, and they're playing at a high level. You know, they're playing up in class regularly, and they're getting good results regularly. So you would have only thought that would translate.
Yeah, and I mean, Regina had, to their credit, had a lot of possession.
Almost all the possession.
Yeah, and West Central was only trying to counter, but their defense kind of just packed it in and did their job, right?
They had a good little plan, I thought dealing with the boy up top from Regina.
Yep.
He still got past guys multiple times, but goalkeeper was really good. And again, I think they had a little plan going in, and they did obviously execute it to perfection, defensively at least.
Yeah. So because I was up in the booth, I know all sorts of stuff. West Central Valley, right? 10 guys from last year's team are returning, but the goalkeeper, who had such a great game, he was star of the game, had 12 saves, saved a penalty in the shootout. He's a sophomore.
If I remember right, he actually didn't play soccer last year.
Yes, that's correct.
And it's took a few years off, but what a game out of him. Like, that was incredible. That was very, very good.
Yeah, and what was your thought on Laird Holden for Regina?
I mean, the whole Regina squad was good, right? I
really like their two midfielders.
Yes,
the 10 and 12.
They only had two midfielders?
The two of the
specifically
the two in the middle of the park.
Yeah,
the 10, the 12.
10 and 12. I thought
Beard and White.
They controlled the game a lot, but man, they just couldn't break through. And that, they had one really good shot that hit the crossbar, and then there was a double save out of the keeper. But I mean,
there was not a lot of urgency from the Regals, right?
Yes.
They were very patient and calm throughout, which at first I was like, man, this is going to be great. If they can just play like this, they'll be fine. But then they needed to inject a little urgency.
It was almost to a fault. They were too casual. And like I said, West Central was just really solid. And they, had a few chances. They came a few minutes apart, but it is what it is.
Regina went deep into the bench, right? I think they played like 18 or 19 guys. So I think West Central Valley just ultimately they ran out of gas.
Yeah.
Went to overtime. Not a lot of chances in the overtime, right? And
just that one with the crossbar for Regina,
which was probably the best chance of the entire game.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
I don't know, going into it, if I was West Central Valley, obviously you want to win it in regulation, but I thought if you had said, hey, we're getting a shootout and a chance to win, you probably can't ask for much more.
No.
Not only that, just a shootout, and then your fifth shooter just has to make it, and you win. Like, you're going to take that every time.
Yep.
You hit the crossbar. It's a
and it's like your stud center back, senior.
Tired
just
legs.
Going up there
He's been defending all day. Yeah, it's tough.
We got to talk about the goalkeeper though in the shootout, right? This has got to be the talking point.
So before we talk about it,
sorry.
So his name's Drew Grieve, right? Did you know that?
Yes.
Okay, so Drew Grieve was the center back for Regina. He also started on the basketball team in the state tournament and played football in the fall of the state tournament. And he's on the state tournament for the soccer team, right? So it's just a stud athlete.
And he told us after the game that he actually played goalie before this season. I don't know if that was club or high school, but
and that was their plan, right? He said, our plan was for me to go in goal in a shootout, which is wild.
it worked, right?
It did.
Like, I thought he was very good. And
great last save,
yeah.
right? He dives one way and reaches back.
Yeah, so ultimately, like, he was so athletic, he was getting to the corner on every dive, and so he was already to the corner. He had to reach back and claw it out on that last.
I think West Central missed 3, 1 hit the crossbar, and then he had 2 saves, and there was even 1 or 2 shots
close,
where he got a hand on it and just went in. So I mean, he was very, very good. So props to them. That was.
Yeah, he's not a big dude either, right? Just like a little guy bouncing around.
No, but he was pretty amped after the game, obviously.
As you can imagine. Well, so West Central Valley, the Wildcats. The only thing I would say for them, right? You talked about their great game plan, and I noticed this with Iowa City too, right? As the game wore on and chances started coming from set pieces, get people forward and get them in the box, right? On both sides, like even Regina would have a corner kick and there'd be like 3 guys in the box. Like, okay, good luck. You got that Aiden Clausen. He's like 6'3". You're not gonna cause any trouble if you don't get more guys in the box.
And like you said, there's some monsters.
Yes, West Central Valley was big.
Yep, and I do think that was one thing I was a little confused about why Regina wasn't throwing those numbers in, and not only that, they had like all of their attackers on the 18 line and maybe 1 guy actually near the 6, and it just didn't seem like they were dangerous on any corners. So,
well, Iowa City, Regina Catholic, back to the state title game. They've won 8 championships total since 1999, which is when they started their program. Coach Dr. Rick LaRue, getting him back there. We'll see what he does. Yeah. Siebes, what do you think? Anything else?
Well, who are they going to play?
Next game? Yeah, we can talk about the next game.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Okay, so next game was
Council Bluffs,
St. Albert, the Falcons against the West Sioux Falcons.
Battle of the Birds.
Yeah.
I believe Ben talked about it on the broadcast.
Yes.
When Falcons fight each other for
When
food.
Falcons fight each other for prey, it's called a crab. So we had a massive crab today.
Just a good old-fashioned crab.
So we used to, when we first started doing, this is a little historical note for everybody. When we started doing Play of the Week or Game of the Week originally, we would write stories about games. Instead of doing any kind of media stuff, it would all be in writing. And we had some unbelievably great headlines, and like I'd be curious. We would have had Falcon and Falcon. We could have had some good thoughts, Benny.
Yeah, Council Bluffs and West Sioux, crab in Des Moines. Anyway, so the thought was number 2 West Sioux was going to be too much, right? They won. They're defending state champions. They're returning almost, I think, 10 of 11 starters. They had Jonathan Flores, who last year scored 30-some-odd goals. This year he's closing in on 40-some-odd goals.
And I saw him and was it Oscar Robles?
Yep.
Combined had 60.
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. And I mean, so like they had 80 goals. They were responsible for 3/4 of them. So, and then on the flip side, you had Council Bluffs St. Albert. All right. Council Bluffs St. Albert there with private school, smaller school. They've only got 17 guys on the roster total.
Could you talk about like the hilarious in the starting lineup or the pregame, right?
The
squads.
The pregame, they announce all the reserve players, and all the reserve players go out there. And West Sioux had an entire second team as just their reserves, and St. Albert has 6 guys announced, and I don't even think I saw a backup goalie, if I'm being honest. It's got to be like a player that's all right. Sure. So.
Well, that's funny. Well, so West Sioux, hot start, right?
Couldn't get any better.
No, right? Goal in the first, 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah, I'd say first 10 minutes.
And then Jonathan Flores scores, and then again gets sent through, scores a second one, and they're kind of in dreamland, right? 2-0, and you're like, okay, like this might be over. Council Bluffs didn't look really good at all in the first half, honestly.
I'd say the first 30 minutes for sure, West Sioux was cruising.
Perfect, 30 minutes. Because that last 10 minutes, you're right, Council Bluffs kind of sort of play themselves back in the game, get some chances.
A few offside.
Can you say enough about Kyle Irwin?
Oh, he was very good.
What a stud. So the kids are going to Grandview in the fall, going to play for David Groves over there. In that first half, though, he had maybe 2 chances that you're kind of like he was in on goal, right?
Yeah.
Missed it. Had another chance that he missed, and you're kind of like, oh man, is this maybe just not his day? And so they go into halftime, and it was kind of like, I wonder what those halftime talks were like.
I would love to hear that one.
Yeah. Well, what do you think West Sioux's talk was like, Siebes?
I'm sure the coaching staff's still on them, but as a player, it's tough, right? You know.
Yeah, they're in control of the game.
We're good. We're sitting in a great spot. We've been here. We've done it. We're just going to, again, coast to 40-minute, right? We talked to Ankeny a little bit, Centennial last night about the same, just the mentality. And unfortunately for West Sioux, it's
they came out flat, right?
Yep.
And that first 5, last 5, we always talk about it. And Kyle Irwin capitalizes early on. And, I mean, let's just talk about him for a second, right? Every time the ball turns over, he's opening his run up. He's trying to threaten him behind. He's always willing to run in the channel. The track ball's down. He would drop deep if he needed to defend.
Who do you guys?
He wasn't selfish either, right?
Who do you? Yeah, I don't want to jump too far ahead, but who do you guys like better, the Regina forward or the St. Albert forward?
Today, I would say the St. Albert forward.
Yeah, based on today, 100%. You'd have to go with Kyle Irwin.
Yeah, he was.
And just especially like attitude and his work off the ball.
His work rate was incredible.
Yeah, his work, absolutely great work rate. And then when you go back and you look at Laird Holden, he's good, really good. But you could tell he was getting frustrated. Yeah. Things weren't going his way, and he was trying to do like maybe a little more than he needed to.
Yeah. Where's he going, Cody? He said, do you guys know?
He's going to St. John's in Minnesota.
Okay.
To play D3 up there.
Yeah, that's why he's playing. Yeah, I could. Yep.
And then so St. Albert's, they've got a player, Christopher Mosley, who's going to Hastings, and then they've got the Grandview commit there with Kyle Irwin. And so they equalize there where, and I'm trying to remember exactly how it happened, but ultimately Irwin freed his.
Basically, it seemed like the game plan, and it worked, was to get the ball in the middle, and West Sioux's defenders all just collapsed, and it just gave those wide channels wide open, and it just.
And how many times when you saw the ball go in the middle, you'd see a wide player?
Yeah.
Their run was towards goal as opposed to further wide, right?
It's a good plug for the post-game interviews, right? Cody, you asked them about that, and they talked about it a little bit.
Well, it seems like they must be being coached. Like that must be part of the game plan.
Yeah, and we did talk about those few first half offside calls that they got. So they started kind of hammering round your run a little bit, right, and then just go straight to the goal, and that's what they did, and they scored 2 in the first 8 minutes. Is that what it was?
Yeah. And so then we had about 15 minutes left, 10 minutes left. We're starting to think, man, this is done, not going anywhere. West Sioux had run out of gas. St. Albert looked like they kind of ran out of gas a bit. And I said to the guy up in the booth, like, hey, this one's going to overtime.
Momentum is a real thing, though. We saw it last night. We saw it again today.
Yep. And so how about that let's talk about that last goal. Right, it's a little bit of a scrap in the middle of the park, but how about the tackle from I think that was Christopher Mosley.
Okay.
I think that was who did it. And I don't know what he went in hard and he stood up
his ground and just kept going.
But he stood up through it, kind of picked his way through it, and then it plays in Kyle Irwin, and Kyle Irwin unselfishly passes it to his teammate, who gives it back. And what a finish too, right? Because
finish was
he puts it on his left foot. He's not left-footed, and we've seen his left foot wasn't great, right? But he opens up like he's going to hit it to the back post, and what's he do? He just closes those hips like he's Martin Odegaard or something, and just smashes it to the near post.
Splits 2 defenders, beats the goalie near post. I mean, it was a great finish, and honestly, well deserved, right?
Yeah. So I texted David Groves after, and it was just like, looks like you got yourself a decent prospect. So I'll be excited to see how he does in college.
I like it. I like the local boy going to the defending NAI champion. That's good.
That's right.
For sure. So that'll give us a really interesting matchup, right? St. Albert's from Council Bluffs and Iowa City Regina Catholic. So you got a couple parochial schools in the mix.
Yeah.
See what happens.
And
who do we like?
I was telling Blake, you would think the advantage would be St. Albert because Regina went to overtime. They played a full 100 minutes and PKs, but
they've got such a deep squad.
But they're so deep, and then St. Albert's has such a small squad. I mean, it'll be. I think it'll be completely different games than it was today. Because West Sioux and West Central play unique styles, I would say, and it'll be fun.
Yeah. Who you got, Cody?
I think I got St. Albert. I think Irwin gets a couple.
Yeah, I would say I'm enamored by Irwin right now, so I'm gonna trade in my West Sioux pick since they're out, and go with the transitive property and take the other Falcons.
There you go.
Well, they've been on a roll too. We talked about their sub-state, right? They beat Van Meter.
Yeah,
they beat
Van Meter's a
Trainer
tough
earlier in the
squad.
year.
Trainer was a good squad.
Western
They beat them.
Christian Hole.
Yeah.
So yeah, just since you guys are that way, and those boys were super polite.
Yes.
Too, like shook your hand. So
nervous.
yeah, mom and dad, well done. Like coaching staff, like created a good boys. But I'm gonna go Regina, go with the Regals, and then we'll find out.
They've got some firepower.
They do.
All right, well, check back with us tomorrow, and we'll see you then.